Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Slightly More podcast. It's me, Shane Michael Cruz. I knew that would get you.
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce this. My throat is killing me right now.
Let's just say your actual name.
Shane Patrick Cruz.
And I'm Chris Michael. Today we're doing an episode about what's in your pockets, but not like when you're just at the grocery store. When you're performing, what do you keep in your pockets?
Yeah. And then I have one other thing after that.
Oh, I don't know about this. So I think it's important. A lot of magicians, I think, have a resistance when wanting to perform because they don't think that they have good enough material or they don't know what to bring with them when they're first getting started.
Yeah.
I know I went through that. It's a huge, like when you get somebody asks you if you could do a gig at a restaurant, you say yes, and you're panicking because you don't know what to bring with you. And we hope to put that at ease. If you want to start off, you're a mentalist.
So I think there's two sides of this, right? There's sort of, right? So there's one side of your like everyday, what do you carry in your pockets in case you are out and about and find a moment to do some magic.
Also, maybe while you are at the grocery store.
Creating magical moments. Shout out Jeff Kaler, who does. If you have not seen Jeff Kaler's Penguin Live lecture, do yourself a favor. It is amazing, and he talks about something specifically at the grocery store. And then what do you carry when you're doing a walk around gig?
Yeah.
So let's start with just
like the everyday.
Let's start with the everyday, because actually my everyday is also what I do at walk around gigs. But I don't know if all of your everyday is also what you do at walk around gigs.
Yeah. I hate to admit this. I don't carry as much. I guess. Well, this is the thing with all pros. I don't carry as much as I used to. Like when I would leave the house, I'd have my favorite trick in my right pocket, a deck of cards, and all this cool stuff. For the longest time, I would always have my newest trick with me as a way to force me to perform it in practice. Now I don't really do that when I buy tricks. A lot of the time, it just goes in my drawer right into my show. But that's how I would usually get flight time with things.
Yeah.
I used to carry Holy Moly a lot. I'd carry coins. Now when I leave my house, I always have one of two things with me. I either have a deck of cards, usually with a one opposite back card, just to give me some options for what to do, or coins. Sometimes I'll have both, but I usually pick one or the other. I'll always have a set of 4 coins in a shell, or I'll have a full deck of cards.
Yeah. I have actually started to carry cards less, just because when it gets brought up in some form of fashion that you do magic, and then you bring out a deck of cards, I feel like people are like,
yeah.
Really? Like you were this prepared to do something? So, let me take that back. Not 80% of the time I still do bring a deck of cards. 20% of the time I do not, just because I'm trying to force myself to do other things. But when I do bring a deck of cards, I always try to start with something else that is not cards.
You know, I think that's a good point. The reason I don't really carry as much is because I used to have to be dependent on props or card tricks. Now a lot of what I can do, in fact, my best tricks involve no props. My song thing,
Well, the phone is a prop.
Yeah, the phone is a prop, right? I mean,
But you have it on you all the time.
Yeah, so I'll usually have my phone. If I do coins, I always have a jumbo coin. It's very rare that you'll find me with any coins and not a jumbo coin. I used to walk around with one in my back pocket all the time, but started looking like I was doing dip. And now some of my jeans have permanent circles in them. But anyway, so...
Got a clear piece of plastic in there.
Yeah, I don't...
Solid piece of plastic.
Talking about Omnideck. Yeah. I don't... No, Omnideck specifically for walk-around gigs. Here's the big difference between off the clock and on the clock. Off the clock, which I'm sure I should do this opposite. Off the clock, I usually have like a designer deck, like a Theory 11 deck, or...
I do too, actually.
I normally... But when I'm on the clock, I've got to tear up cards. Cards get wet, lost. I use bicycles,
Yeah.
It would be cool for me to use a different deck when I'm performing, actually.
I know, right?
So normally I'll have a night... And there's something to that about having a deck of cards that's not a bicycle deck. It's not like, oh, this noob... Like, it's like you put time and thought, you have a style. Also, the way that I always get into a card trick when I'm performing out on the street, somebody asks me, I usually wait for them to bring up a card trick. And then I never just pull it out of my pockets. I usually do some sort of appearance of a deck of cards to make it seem like, oh, I wasn't prepared, but if you want to do that, it's a little bit more magical if they don't think you're prepared.
Yeah.
But no, I'll normally wait for them to ask me to do a card trick. And if they don't, I'll never do one.
Really?
Yeah, because for me, you do more mind reading stuff. For me, I'm doing vanishes and things, and sometimes I'll try to prompt it. I actually just went out to a bar with my friend Andre and this guy Ben, and I was doing tricks like coin tricks. Actually, I had my coins, but not my cards. And he goes, well, what type of? I was like, what type of magic tricks do you like? He goes, well, I really like card tricks. I was like, oh, card tricks. So later on, when I went out to my car, because I had to actually get my wallet because I left it in there, but I ended up getting my cards and doing card tricks for him. But people bring it up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how you mentioned you always carry a designer deck with you. I always carry one in my everyday.
Black
but
Knox.
I never, the Black Knox.
But I
so nice looking.
A kid, not that my box is nice anyway, because the Black Knox box for some reason.
Horrible.
It's really beautiful. It just,
it gets really messed up really quickly.
That? Is it
no idea.
Material?
I guess it's the material, yeah.
Well, some kid ripped it in half, and the mom. I left the deck on the table when I went backstage for a second. When I went to get it back later, the mom had the deck wrapped in not rubber band or Ziploc bag, cellophane. It was wrapped in cellophane. She gave it back to me.
Holy crap.
I still have it at my house right now, wrapped in cellophane by my bed. And,
my god. Well, no. So I've never been able to I've never really thought I always carried it because I knew it looked nicer. But anyways, yeah.
No, I think you're right. I don't know. Something about having designer deck proves that you're not just a low-level magician who walked to a store. Like, the fact that you have one of these decks of cards proves that you've been around a little while, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just, for me, the Black Knox looks so classy and just really
simple.
nice.
They don't
really
raise any questions.
No.
Yeah. Plus, they fit your personality and what you wear a lot of the time.
Yeah. Sometimes, actually, you know what, man? To be quite honest, I've actually started carrying around the Marksman deck by Luc Germain.
Okay.
Just because I get so much mileage out of that. But here's the thing, because I am like 99% a mentalist, I use when the deck comes out, it is done in relation to like fortune telling. So the deck is not magic related. So I always start because, like I said, 99% mind reader, mentalist. So I always start with mind reading things. And then in the end, now that I have the cards out, I go, you know what? We should cheers. We should try. Let's try. Some of the. I'll show you what I learned years ago. I started out as a magician. Don't really do magic anymore. Let me show you a couple things that I used to do, and then I go into all of my magic repertoire.
Yeah. One thing that I think is important about me not carrying as much stuff is because I also don't want to be I think when I bring more stuff with me, and this is the initial reason I cut down the amount I carry, when I bring more stuff with me, I feel obligated to perform.
Yeah.
And so when I bring less, I'm more obligated to be a person first, magician second.
Yeah.
Also, when thinking about things I put in my pocket, I try to figure out what packs the smallest I can get the most mileage out of. I know 107 tricks with coins, even one coin. I know, countless tricks with a deck of cards, even though I do the same too.
Yeah. I do the same 5.
Yeah, so, I figure what can I pack the smallest to get the most, out of. I also usually carry double cross with me too. If I know I'm going somewhere where I might perform.
Effing trick, man.
I know, and I wish that
even lay people know about double cross now.
Oh yeah, it's been on TV so many
times.
times.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And you know what's funny is when I ask people, they're like, oh, I'm a magician. Man, I saw a magician last week at a restaurant I was at, Virginia Beach. I'm like, oh, what do they do? It's like, oh, well, you won't be able to do it. He drew oh my gosh, he got an X on my hand. I'm like, oh, man, yeah, I wish I could do that. I don't know how that... He's probably the only... that sounds like the only person in the universe who does that.
Yeah.
Let me show you something.
Yeah.
Was
X is now on the
like
back
this?
of your hand.
Yeah, was something like this?
Yeah.
How big was the X? Like that big?
Yeah.
All right, now listen, I don't know if I could do this. Let me just try it, okay? Boom, and it happens. But double cross, I think what it is, there's something about being so invasive. It's on the palm of your hand, a sensitive spot where they would
We'll get to that.
it.
I want to get to that in a second. So, one thing I want to point out is, and you do the same thing, is when you're out and about, obviously in a walk-around situation, they're expecting you almost, so they know you're the entertainment. Well, sometimes they don't, but the point I want to make is you always start out, and I always start out when someone's like, whenever I'm in a group and someone finds out that I do magic, they're like, oh, show us something. I never immediately pull out business cards or immediately pull out a deck of cards. I always ask them some sort of...
When he says business cards, he means like billets, right? Like.
Well, yeah. Now I use just blank on both sides.
I think when you said business cards, it was my thought like you're going to start selling your stuff. I think you meant just for tricks.
Yeah, for tricks, right? So I always engage them first before I pull out any kind of props. And I think that is important.
Yeah.
To create a connection first. I always, and there I go saying always. No, I don't always. It's 50-50. I start with two things. So I always have blank business cards on me, blank on both sides, to do billet work. And then I have a deck of cards a lot of times. I always have a Sharpie. And that's pretty much it. That is all I carry around. The benefits of being a mind reader, right? I don't have to carry around a whole lot of props. But what I want to say is, I always start with business cards or the billets that are business cards, because it's not physical, it's not playing cards, and it's a way for me to connect. I either do this like in the pocket in the hands routine. It's kind of an influence thing, so I typically ask them, same as you asked, like, how easily influenced are you, right? So it's a connection question,
right?
Question between me and that person, right?
See our walk around video on how to walk around, because we'll talk about that, engaging people before you even do magic. Yeah.
Or I say, think of someone that, let's do, I always take a second to go, like I'm not prepared, even though I really am very prepared. I always go, yeah, I'll tell you what, think of someone that you're personally connected to. And I do that before I pull out any marker or card or anything. And then I go from there, right? So
one thing I think there's a difference between when people find out you're a magician, being a magician, and a magician. Because there's a difference. If you pull out cards, they think you're the magician in the family. Like you're...
Right.
People come to me all the time. Oh, I'm a magician too. Oh, you are? No, where do you perform? Oh, no, I don't perform. I do card tricks.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got you. So you pull out cards or coins. Coins a little less so, but cards right off the bat. There's this air where they're not really sure if you're a professional magician, like if this is what you do. I found more often than not when I'm doing card tricks, people will ask for clarifying questions like, oh, do you do this for a job? Or like, oh, what do you do for a living? Like, oh, magic. And they're like, oh, really? Where if I'm doing other things, like, I literally pick something off the counter and do a trick with a stir rod or a straw, or I do a mentalism piece. Like now they assume it has to be my full-time thing.
So something interesting that I read from a performer. He performs as a psychic and like fortune teller kind of thing. His name is, I don't want to give out his. This is kind of like my insider secret to who this guy is.
Okay, then don't.
Hey,
but we're trying to be vulnerable and not hold anything back.
I know. His name is Jerome Finley. Have you ever heard of Jerome Finley?
No.
See? So...
he said, man. You were waiting for that.
So, this dude, if you can find...
he said, see?
This guy is unbelievable. If you're a mind reader, I use some of his... Man, that's one of those things I wanted to hold on to myself because I don't think a whole lot of people really know about this guy. So hopefully no one watches this episode. No, something that Jerome does that I think is quite interesting when and you kind of mentioned it, if you're in a networking thing and someone, or you're meeting someone for the first time and you're like, what do you do? And then inevitably they're going to be like, well, what do you do? Instead of outright saying, oh, I'm a magician, or, oh, I'm a mind reader, or a psychic, a fortune teller, or whatever it is, his response is, well, how about I just show you?
That's, wow. Whoa, I feel that.
I said, the easiest way for me to tell you is just to show you, right? That immediately is an intriguing, engaging question, right? They're like, what?
They're like, is this guy about to be a chiropractor? Because I need that.
So sometimes, and he also does palm reading. So a lot of his opening line is, they say like, right. So,
no, let me. I got you. I don't know if you guys ever seen me palm read before. There's a short line. It's called it's your lifeline here. That's the shorter one here. Oh my god. That's the lifeline. That's the lifeline right there. What are you doing tomorrow? Dude, cancel your plans. You are not going to make
yeah.
it.
So that's actually even though that's super funny, that's actually very similar to what Jerome does. A lot of times he'll open with that. So, the person says, well, what do you do for a living? And he goes, do you mind if I see your hand for a second? And then he gives them a 30-second palm reading and goes, that's what I do.
Mm.
So, when we're on the topic of, and the thing that I personally do, because I don't do palm reading, is I said, well, do you have someone that you're personally connected to? Just think of them, don't say it. And get that person in your mind, and then I pull out a card. I tell you what, let's write it down. There's other people standing here. I want them to be able to see it too. So that's how I kind of go into it.
Yeah.
But more and more lately for me, and the reason I started looking into Jerome's work is because I am sort of rebilling myself as this modern mystic kind of a thing that is very much into the esoteric side of mind reading and fortune telling and that sort of thing. So I'm actually in the process of learning like tarot and learning some fortune telling systems. There's a great book, Psychometry. I think it's Psychometry A to Z. And so literally for every letter, there's like a word and a concept that goes around that. So, I can immediately, if I know someone's name is Sam, then I can take those letters and then give them a reading based off.
So
of
if people
their
want
life.
to not carry as much with them, and
So that's mental, right?
Yeah, that's mental. What
So
you're
that's
carrying. Where
yeah.
can they find resources like that? Just give a few.
So Psychometry A to Z is one of them. That's a fantastic book that goes, like I said, it's these. Another way to describe it is like oracle readings, and so like you take each letter of the alphabet has a specific word that is attached to that. Like A, for instance, is action, right? And then so I can go into a personal psychic reading about that person. It says, say their name is Ann, right? ANN. So, I can say, yeah, I feel that you are just when they say, oh, what do you do for a living? I said, why don't I just kind of show you what I do for a living? They go, okay, yeah, sure. I said, yeah. The first thing I get from you is that you're a very outgoing person. You're the type of person that immediately makes decisions as opposed to just kind of sitting on things.
So action.
Right. So without saying the word action, right? So and then I just go down the line, and then
What would N be?
I don't remember, to be quite honest. I literally have the cards over there.
Oh, I see.
They're
So-
in a notebook. So for me, like being able to carry stuff around, I want to actually carry less and less. I want to, and the other reason why I'm learning these systems of giving readings towards people, that really kind of is what it boils down to, is giving readings towards people. You've actually seen me give readings with a deck of cards,
At the bar.
right? At the bar, yeah.
Where was that? Where were we? Oh
we
my
were at
gosh,
the Marriott.
Oh yeah, dude. Wow, what a
Yeah.
man. We've been working together a long time now.
Yeah, and so it's one of the main reasons, besides being that I want to carry less. The main reason is that I want to connect more with people, right?
I agree with that.
Connect more with people.
That's what I'm doing.
And I feel that asking them questions and telling them about their lives and giving them a reading right there on the spot is more than likely something they have never seen before, and it immediately connects me to that person, and it shows them at the same time what I do. And then at the very end, I say, I actually do this for a living. I go into corporate offices and businesses and associations and do this on a large, everything from what you've just seen all the way up to a large scale show.
So it's funny because I'm so business minded, and I wish this wasn't how it is. If I'm just performing for friends, I still try to do the same thing. I approach it a little bit backwards. So actually, I start now when people they go, like, what do you do for a living, or what are you doing here, whatever it is. I will normally ask this question. I'll say. I'll say, I'm actually a professional magician. But let me ask you this. When you think magician, what comes to mind? And so they'll tell me. And I'll say, yeah, it's interesting because I took a little bit of a different angle. I took doing magic, and then I'll tell them what I do with corporate. And so this way I'm like, they know it's what I do for a living, and that I'm like, not like a big shot, but like I'm not just like a local guy. So that when I do a trick, even if I do a simple trick, to them they have this story that they could tell their friends, this guy that they met, and I'll try to wrap in a story to the trick. So it's this cool, like, I'm not focused on the single trick, I'm focused on the experience of them meeting me, and like
Yeah.
having it. So and another cool thing we do, even if you're not telling what you do work wise, I think what you said is awesome with the whole. Well, why don't I just show you? Because that's such a cool story they can go home and tell their friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you can just say it's easier for me to show you what I do than tell you what I do.
Yeah. So I'll usually put in some kind of phony like. Oh, you know, a lot of what I do relies on focusing on people's body language and behavior patterns to know what they're thinking. And so then I'll do, like, there's a few side forces I've come up with myself that I do, and then just some mentalism pieces if I'm not trying to use props.
Yeah.
You're obviously way more heavy on that side. I quickly go from mentalism moving into a real magic trick, where I'm sure you hang out on mentalism a little more.
I do all mentalism. At the very end, if I have extra time, I'll do some magic stuff.
This podcast would be a lot different if Shane asked, what's in your bag? Because I forget I also have a backpack with me everywhere I go.
You do
and that
have
thing's
an
stuffed,
entire backpack.
which I actually used to dip into that almost every day. Now I literally just operate out my pockets. I don't even think I could probably take the tricks out of my backpack now.
Yeah.
At this point.
Something else I always have on me is loops, pretty much.
Oh yeah, dude.
I need to get some because I'm out right now, but I typically have a loop on me.
Started using loops in my professional gigs. I've only ever used it in situations with friends or when I go out to eat or like casual environments.
We gotta start stealing my stuff, man. Yeah.
No, because I do loop things with loops you don't do.
That is true.
That ring thing.
Yeah.
So if
now, what do you carry? You do the same 4 tricks in your walk around, nonstop. Literally nonstop.
Well, when you're.
But here's the thing, though. So it's like you get used to doing those 4 things. You're doing them to. If you're doing walk around to the same audience every single night, obviously you would need to switch it up. But you know, when you're doing birthday parties and corporate gigs, you're in front of different people all the time. So it doesn't matter if you're doing the same. I think David Williams.
Honestly,
David
if you're doing any sort of group, you're doing the same few tricks every time. It doesn't have to be birthday parties or corporate. Any group you do, you're going to be in different environments.
Yeah, most professional magicians will tell you they built their career off like 4 tricks.
Yeah, man. Dave Williamson, that's what he says. He's been doing the same 3 things for 40 years. And man, that's where I'm at. Like,
so tell people what you do.
Like for walk around or just casual?
Walk around.
Okay. Because I'll touch on if I took what's in my bag that I think I need to have with me at all times.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not professionally performing, it would be I usually have a flipper coin. I love to carry a flipper coin with me.
Mm-hmm.
Also in my bag, I've got a couple of gimmick cards. I think I've got the Vanishing Kings, and I've got a Leonard Green card trick.
It's a deck of cards, a full deck of cards, Leonard Green.
Yeah, Leonard Green's stolen cards.
Yeah. Pretty good routine.
So that's what I'll. Those are the things. And a box of duplicates. So that's what's
right.
There's so much crap in my bag right now. Sponge balls I've got in it. I've got so much crap in my bag. It's not even worth going into because I literally at this point only use it professionally.
Yeah.
So when I'm walking around, I stuff in my pockets. Usually in my shirt pocket nowadays or breast pocket of my jacket, I'll have duplicate cards and a gimmick card. Usually I'll have Vortex.
Yeah.
Or I'll have the 7, which I lost my eye test. Crap, I gotta get that.
I'm gonna come out and just say this. I hate Vortex. I think it is a terrible trick.
Dang, man.
I really do. I think it is a horrible trick.
It gets such good reactions, though, man.
The only part I like about that trick is the very end where the cards split apart, because I think that's super visual. I don't know, man.
You ever seen Shin do it? I'm gonna DM Shin and tell him to send it to you.
Oh, really?
You ever seen him do it?
No.
He does it, the way he does it is worse.
Really?
For my opinion, I mean, he doesn't want to hear that, but
sorry, Shin.
No, he takes it and just shakes it once, and it goes, and he shakes it again, and it goes back.
Well, no, because it's got a circular pattern. So why would you do this?
Well, that's
why
what
would
he
you
does.
go like this?
Well, no, he does. He boom and a chain, and then boom and it's back.
Now, here's why I don't like it. Right? So this is just tangent, right? When you do it, and it sounds like Shin does it the same way. When you do it, it's got a swirling pattern on it, right?
Yeah.
So when you stop, the pattern is still swirling. So why would
that's literally the whole trick?
Moving.
Oh yeah, you can.
It just visually doesn't I look at that and go, that doesn't make sense. No, because you do this, and then you do the move, and then when you stop for a second.
No, you're supposed to go fast and then slow it down and go slow and keep moving it. That's what you're supposed to do.
I just think it's terrible.
All right, so Vortex I'll carry with me sometimes, and then the Eye Test by Danny Archer I'll carry with me. Love that trick, and I used to do it to get into sponge
That trick
balls.
is good.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually order another one right after this because I lost mine at a gig. I used to carry Extreme Burn with me, which freak, I lost that with $100 bills in it, man. Lost it once with fives, and lost it once with hundreds, and I just so butthurt about that. Like, I lost my. It was my favorite shirt. My favorite performing shirt. You haven't even seen it. It's such a good shirt. It was like this black button down with kind of like colored speckles on it that like you can only see from up close.
Was it like the t-shirt with the vest on it?
No, man. It was such a nice shirt, and it was expensive too. It was like $100 shirt, which I don't have very many of. And well, I have more since we went to that store and got a bunch of crap. But I lost my freaking favorite shirt, and inside of the breast pocket was hundreds, and I almost wish like I would have just lost the money without the shirt. Like I would have preferred to have the money, but
I think we talked way too long about that. All right, so you obviously seem upset about it.
I think I've learned. All right, so
obviously double cross, you keep that on you.
Double cross, I keep on me.
The time.
Yeah.
So you walk around as imagination coins.
Yeah. So hold on. I'll carry coins and cards, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and an omni deck and a jumbo coin. Man, that sounds like a lot.
It's not though.
Let me go back through it. In my breast pockets.
So now we're going into pocket management.
Yeah, in my well, it's what we carry on us, right? So in my breast pocket, I've got my duplicate cards and gimmick cards. Okay, not very many of each.
Yep.
And my left pocket up here, I got a deck of cards, double cross, and a regular Sharpie.
Yep.
Sounds like a lot. Really fits easily in one pocket. My other pocket, literally, I've just got sponge balls and coins. Back pocket, got an omni deck. Other back pocket, a jumbo coin. Yes, I have something in every pocket. I know that's a magician. They're like, why do you do that? I'm not bulking around all my pockets. I've got a little something in each pocket. Okay.
Yep.
So it just helps pocket management. When I stroll around, I do imagination coins. I do double cross. I do sponge balls. I know, by the way, you're gonna listen to this. Like you're gonna be like, oh, Chris Michael's doing all these gigs, and he's like one of those guys who's gigging, and he's gonna have some unique stuff that he's doing.
Nope.
Because me and every magician who's making a substantial amount of money. Actually, I know some magicians making stupid money, like investment money off of magic, and they're doing the same crap.
Okay? Yeah, or less.
It's got.
I heard about a magician that did one trick for the entire walk-around performance. One trick.
How much
he just
did he get
did
paid?
it over. I don't know, but it was over and over and over again. The one.
Because you know what you get paid for? To connect with people and make it fun, not to do more magic. All right.
Yeah.
So then I'll do imagination coins when I come out. Double cross. I'll do sponge balls. Maybe.
Let's talk about why you do imagination coins. It goes back to what we're talking about in this episode.
Yep.
The opening.
Yeah.
Who in here has the best imagination? That is a great opening line.
I'll get to know them. I'll get names and like, oh, you guys live closer here. Like, oh, how do you know the guest of honor or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, hey, listen, I want to try something with all of you. If you have a second, but I need to know before we do this. You gotta be honest with me. Who has the best imagination? But you could do it with any trick. I could say the same thing with double cross. I say, who's the most protective of their stuff? Who's the most like...
Yep.
And I used to, by the way, just say, who's the most protective of their stuff? And then people would think I was going to try to take that person's watch or something. So now I clarify, I say, who's the most like, that's mine, don't touch it? Like around the office or maybe when they're at home, like they're like people wearing their clothes. Who's that? So it's interesting. Or you could do the same thing with sponge balls. Like, who here pays the most attention to detail? Or who's the cleanest person? And you can hold your hand out and produce a sponge ball. I bet you didn't notice that. Like, little things. So you can really do it with any trick, but imagination coins has just been ingrained in me to go up to people and ask who has the best imagination.
It's gotten a resurgence lately because didn't they re-release, like, Garrett released, like a new video of that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think so. England.
You know imagination coins, and then usually after that I'll work into a card trick. It's actually funny because when I do card tricks, something that's not technically true, I always go, never really been big on card tricks, but
you do all these crazy cuts right after that statement.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
But
I don't know one card trick, and then you're like,
yeah. But not to be cocky, just for like anyway. But no, I do.
I think that would actually be super funny. You should really do that actually.
Like do the
like I just started. You know what? I'm not like most magicians. I actually didn't start with the cards. I started with the coins that you just saw, and I just picked up a deck of cards just a couple of days ago. You really start learning for the first time.
You're like,
you guys ever heard of the 21 card trick? They're like, and then you go into these crazy cuts, and you're
like tossing them around, you flicking them up in the air, catch them in your mouth, and so you're like, "Ooh, man, first time I got that."
A side note.
So so I'll with cards, I'll move into it, and I'll kind of do one card trick. Sometimes I'll do two. I usually do Chicago opener. Yeah. But here's the thing with my Chicago opener, it's got engagement, and like I get everybody to like do the yell. I get everybody yelling, and I have them like. I make jokes about the person protecting the cards, and It's a whole routine. It's not just a Chicago opener. It's got
Yeah.
Here's the thing is, I do want to say this. My tricks are the same as most people, but my scripting I feel is far. I'm not gonna say superior, but far different. Like my SpongeBob routine, I love my SpongeBob routine, man. It's so engaged. Like everything I do is based on, and that's why I do the same for tricks, man. Because I've written scripts that are like just amazing with those.
I know. I tried to force you to do other things for the video series, and it threw you off.
Yeah. I love to do gimmicky card stuff when I have time, but usually I'll do imagination coins or double cross, one or the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, no, sorry. I do imagination coins or sponge balls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I'll do double cross. Then I'll do a card trick and end with an omni deck, and that's normally where I'm leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagination coins I end with a jumbo coin if anybody cares.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it, man.
Yeah.
I have the other stuff in case I come back to another group or I just get tired of doing the same stuff and want to move into something else. But I'll do Dave Williamson's Tournament Restore type thing with the finding the comedy thing.
Yeah.
Occasionally I'll do a rope trick. I'll do Richard Sanders' fiber optics.
Mm-hmm.
I loved performing Extreme Burn, but I'm mad. It was in a high-end golf course at a wedding. I left it in the bathroom. There was no one else there. When I went back in, it was gone.
Wow. Yeah, it happens.
But
yeah, I always let's see. I open,
it happens.
I know, right?
What do you mean?
These people at golf courses. Always typically start with either like a direct mind reading piece where they're revealing a name. I have a kind of a. Actually, I'll tell you exactly what I do. If I do that, I do French Kiss, but with business cards.
Yeah.
No, I don't have to carry an extra deck of cards around with me. I always have business cards, the blank business cards with me. So I'm always immediately set up for
and what
the
do you
next
do?
thing.
Because cards have unique faces. What do you do to make this unique? Like you have them sign it.
Yeah. So I sign my initials on the front part of the card.
And then they sign their initials.
And then they sign the back.
Because otherwise it's the same card transferring. But essentially it's the signature. It's the fact that a card with their signature went to your mouth, a card with your signature went to their mouth. It's kind of that's the whole point of the trick.
Right, but I don't do it in the mouth though. I just do it in the hands.
In the hand, yeah. Sorry. But French Kiss, I always think them. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're out there, try French Kiss with business cards.
Also, listen to the podcast Shezam, S-H-E, she, like a woman, Shezam. Carissa and Kayla Hendrickson, Kayla Drescher have a really awesome thing about how to do that trick appropriately. I think a lot of people overstep it. It's just cool. It's cool to listen to that podcast. They're doing such awesome things, and I'm really proud of everything they've done.
So I either start with that, or I start with like a witch hand thing with playing cards, where I'm able to tell.
Like a witch hand with long fingers and warts on it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And or I'm able to tell if it's in their right hand, left hand, and which one they put in their back pocket, which is a great, it's a great opener because I say to them, before we actually get to anything, I do have to kind of gauge you all as an audience. Who in here, who in here thinks that they have the best intuition, right? And so then I get that person, because that comes to my second thing. And I say, okay, great, we're going to get back to you. Second thing is, who in here thinks that who in here is the most protective, right? Or then, actually, no, that's not what I say. I say, who in here, and I'm mixing things up now, sorry. I say, who in here thinks that they cannot be easily influenced?
Oh, yeah, I've heard you say that before.
So that's how I go into the card thing, right? So then say, you're going to be left with it, right. And then the intuition thing, I follow up with the second thing. And then after that, I typically do the cipher on my phone. I've actually worked away now into I carry around a coin envelope, and I do a different version of the French Kiss where the cards go in the envelope, and also in the envelope is a dollar bill. Then I do cipher, and I say we'll get to what's left in a minute. I leave everything. Yeah, right. So I leave everything in the envelope, and then I do cipher, and the number at the end when I press equals is the serial number on the dollar bill already in the envelope, and they get to keep it. So, and then I'll typically switch into some card mind reading, and then if I have time, I'll go into actually card magic tricks. I do literally the same 4 magic tricks in a row every single time.
Yeah, one thing that I think I do, I haven't done as much since Shane's been working with me, but if I wasn't going to perform my show later, which I think this is why I don't do it, because usually I'm strolling and then doing a show, I would actually take pieces of my show and do them walk around, whether it's a balloon swallow. Actually, you've seen me do it. Balloon swallow, my vanishing bottle, even my book test I'll carry around with me and do something. Sometimes it's fun to do something bigger at a table. So now I don't carry those with me. Sometimes I'll carry the vanishing bottle with me. I'll put it in my back pocket, but really I'll go to my case to get those for a specific round of doing that trick. So, I mean, I would encourage people to, if you're doing walk-around magic, you don't have to fit everything in your pocket. You could get to your case. Restaurant magic's where you can't really go back to your case all the time.
Right.
Other places you can, especially if it's a smaller environment.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, if you're starting out, it'll be a smaller room anyway.
Yeah.
But it is important to know what you're carrying in your pockets when we perform.
Last thing, what do you think, what is the best trick that you've ever seen? Or that you do?
Double cross.
That's why I asked. That's why I said earlier for him to wait on that.
All right. So
why do you think double cross is so good?
Eric Jones and I were talking about this. He thinks it's the best trick he's ever performed.
I've heard him say that.
Eric's put out booklets on magic. He's published effects. I've talked to who was it? Hold on, it's gonna come back to me. Oh God, a guy from I believe China. I met him in Vegas. I don't know, Zach Alexander, he doesn't even do it, but thinks it's incredibly good. A lot of magicians think it's the best trick, and it's not the best trick because us as magicians, I don't care for the trick more than anything else. You know, it doesn't make any difference to me. I think it's a cool trick, but to a layman, the thought that somebody can get inside their closed hand, not only get inside of it, put something in there, but physically draw on the face of their hand without them feeling it or you ever getting near them, is just, it blows their minds. There's something in the brain that trick is the peak of impossibility to them. And I don't know, the only thing, I've literally sometimes went on Facebook and find the name of somebody's mother, met them, act like I've never met them, said their mother's name, and they've reacted, but nowhere near as much as with double cross. Double cross is, it's I don't know what it is. Somebody tell me what it is. Put it in the comments. What is it? Do you like the trick or do you not like it? Because I personally, I like it, but I don't think it's the best trick I've ever performed. But every layman, when they see me, they just remember that trick. And I got offered to be flown to Florida before for that trick, and I did once get flown to Florida on a separate occasion just to perform that one trick for $1,500 to do that one trick. Yeah, for Health Trust, a company down in Florida. Yeah. Just to do that one trick for some of their VPs. Mm. And the other occasion I was performing for the Leifowitz family, I probably shouldn't have said that, but I mean, they're a pretty well-known family. And I did that trick for the guy. Right then and there, he shook my hand and said, "What are you doing? You want to go to Florida on New Year's Eve?" And that's never happened with any other trick. Except for my music trick. Savant.
Yeah, that one's good.
I don't know, man. Savant might be a close second.
But it doesn't get the reaction that double cross does.
Yeah.
Nowhere near.
I think, okay.
People are surprised by the we mean inject. Let's just say it. So people are surprised by inject, but
I have an original routine I came up that I call Savant, but it's I've published it in writing in the inject users page. It's actually a file that's permanently on the inject users page you guys can read.
It's for the routining.
Routining. But let me say this. I think just real quick, maybe it's not that double cross gets the best reactions. It gets the most visceral, physical reaction, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to watch. For me, the very first trick that ever floored me was in Divine Magic. A guy, I signed the back of a card, and then when he showed it to me again, it was a different card. That floored me. That right there was like, I'm going to do magic for a living.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, literally.
I should start doing that. That's easy. Was it just a double?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh.
He showed it to me afterwards. I was like, are you kidding me?
Was it Han Wu? Woody?
No, it was just one of the magicians that were just in there on a Saturday.
Still around?
No, I don't know. I don't even remember who it was. I think it was some random guy.
It's probably Watt, dude.
Absolutely floored me. The second thing that ever floored me in magic was about 3 years after that when I saw Lon New at my college bend a fork and right in front of me in his hand. That was the second thing that actually ever floored me.
You know, in a way, you're kind of doing that.
I know I'm doing that now.
You're kind of doing that, and you're kind of doing the other thing with the French kiss with the cards.
I'll get to that. So then the third thing, I saw Mike Super, who's an incredible performer.
He just performed in the same town as us the other day.
Yep. I saw him at a college show. He did the tossed out deck, and it floored the crap out of me. I think the tossed out deck is probably one of my top 3 all time unbelievable magic tricks and mind reading tricks.
Shane has helped me get mine to a place where it's really good now.
Yeah,
mine was okay, but
yeah, I have a lot of retaining stuff and subtleties on the tossed out.
He took it to the next level for me.
Unreal. And then I think the toss out deck is, like I said, is top 3 for me. The second, if I were to put it in top 3, it would be number 3. Tossed out deck, I think, is one of the most incredible things that you can ever perform.
That's good.
And there's a way to do it close up, and there's a way to do it in a large audience, right? So number 2 for me is French Kiss. I get the best reactions with my business card version of French Kiss. It floors me. It's the same thing. The last time I actually changed it, I used to do it in the hands, right? And so, they would write down the name of it. Also, I'm going to put this out there because I think more people, try this if you're a mind reader. It will, you will get the most incredible reactions. It takes French Kiss.
Are you going to share it?
Oh, no, I'm not going to share it, actually.
Oh, I was surprised.
Man, I was getting ready to. Then you made me second guess myself. Oh. Sorry, I'm not going to do it. But
dang, I didn't mean to do that, guys. You should do that in a future episode.
I want to actually reach out to. I'm sure there's other people that are doing this.
No, there's not.
I think there is, but
I don't think so.
I need to reach out to Wayne just to say, hey, here's what I'm doing. There probably is. I'm not that smart.
Dwayne Houchin?
Yeah, Dwayne Houchin. Because when the card ends up in their hand, and now the last time I did it, I actually put it in their pocket, which is even. So it's that one. It's the same as double cross, because it's been in their pocket, and when they go, wait, there's you get the reaction you get from double cross and if you're doing double cross and you're not performing it some way like this, where you build up the moment of, I've got to come near that hand. No one around you has come near you. No one's touched it. It's been on view the whole time, and you're building and building and building and building to where they believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's no way that X can be in their hand. That is the moment that absolutely just murders people.
Yeah.
It kills people.
Yeah, it does.
And it's the same thing in my French Kiss routine.
I've been to a few funerals. It's been...
Yeah, it's crazy. Get invites to that.
Yeah, I've still...
Doing magic at funerals kind of weird.
Dude, my court date for killing people with double crosses.
Yeah. So, that's a video we should make. And then, funeral.
People die, yeah.
Yeah. So, when it ends up in their pocket, they go, there's no way that I literally put it in there myself. So, number 1 for me, though, and this is strictly for mind readers, Q&A, questions and answers routine. There's nothing stronger than that in mind reading, in my opinion. And in other
Aren't we talking about what you carry close up, though?
I actually have a version of Q&A.
Oh, well, no, we're talking about our favorite. Yeah.
You're talking about our favorite now. But I do have something new that I've been working on that's a close-up Q&A. They could be done for 2 people or 10 people. You guys
saw it develop here. There's going to be an episode called "This Magic Trick Kills," and it's just going to be us killing people with magic tricks. Like pick a card and this is it, and they just they do the bolt in the movies. They go
I think it should all be double cross.
Yeah, just like an X, the gunshot sound. You open it, just. Then fall over.
Yeah.
Dude, one of them, he could appear, he could open his hand, it could pan up and show his forehead, and it's got one on his forehead.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, dude.
So yeah. So that's, I think, Q&A as a mind reader is one of the strongest things that you can do for people. That's it.
That is it. Yeah, I feel good with that.
What do you guys carry? What do you all carry, guys and ladies out there? What do you carry?
Give us a top 3 list of the tricks that you always have. I want to see a top 3 list for 2 things. 1, the first part you type should be what you carry with you on an everyday basis.
Yep.
The next one should be what do you have on you during walk around, because I'm willing to expand and change and work on scripts for new things. So if you guys literally influence my show, that'd be insane.
And I'm curious, even beyond that, the stuff that you do either with, like, not only did you do cards, so say you're like, I carry around cards. Is there an opening? We should do one on what's your opening trick for walk around. Actually, just mention that. Just comment.
Yeah, just comment.
So if you say cards, what is the trick that you do with the cards? What is the opening trick that you do with cards? Or if you open with coins, what is the opening trick that you do with coins?
Yeah,
I'm curious.
I found it.
I'm always curious how people open.
I put less emphasis on openers as times go by because I found that I can open with anything now.
Well, yeah. I'm just curious what people open with.
Guys, make sure to follow this podcast on wherever you're listening to it. If it's on Spotify or Apple Play, really just like whatever it is that you need to do to follow or subscribe to the podcast. We're now going down to once a week, so it's a little bit more palatable for you guys. I think these will be coming out on Tuesdays. We haven't really decided.
Yeah.
But we'll
decide sometime in the next couple of days.
We are switching up the structure of all the videos that we make. But honestly, of all the videos we make, these ones get the most engagement and get a lot of people to really respond to them and change their lives, which is insane to think about. So, and actually because of this podcast, I now literally have a new employee, a new deal with another magician.
Not necessarily an employee.
He's not really an employee.
Yeah.
I have to make it seem like that sometimes.
Yeah, client. You can say client.
Client. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now we're just rambling. All right.
All right, guys. See you later.
See ya. All right. What time is it? It's got to be like 4:30, man.
Oh, gosh.
Already.
5. No.
Seriously?
No, it's 3:52.
So it's 4 o'clock. Yeah. All right. Do you want to try to knock out a couple of these business videos?